That is not how that works. Bees. I'm guessing bees.
It's an aggressive fridge opening. Hey.
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 We're two geeks on the couch.
We are two geeks on the couch.
I'm Edward.
And I'm Friedel.
And tonight we are going to watch
1992's Candyman?
Yes. Based on a story by Clive Barker. Welcome to our reaction to Candyman, which I've seen, but it's been at least 15, 20 years. How about you, Friedel?
I confess that I did not even know this movie existed until we started this channel.
Okay. All right. This is, I believe, our first Clive Barker based film, which is exciting.
Okay.
He's known for Hellraiser specifically, but also a couple other movies like Nightbreed and Books of Blood, which is a newer one. He's up there. There's like Stephen King, there's Toby Hooper, there's Wes Craven, Clive Barker.
Is Hellraiser the one with like the guy who's got like acupuncture on his face gone horribly wrong?
Pins. Yes, Pinhead.
Nobody escapes us.
So this is based on a book, or I believe a short story by the same author, Clive Barker.
Oh, great.
This movie is not directed by Clive Barker. It is directed by Bernard Rose.
Okay.
We were watching the theatrical version. Strangely, the theatrical version and the unrated version are the same length. They're both 99 minutes, and I am confused by that.
Before you even ask the question, I have no expectations because I didn't know it existed. And the only thing I know about this film is apparently there's somebody in it with a hook. You've shown me the cover, and I'm assuming that person is potentially the villain. But these days, I don't even know.
Going in blind on this is great. I will say, have you ever heard of any of the stories like Bloody Mary, or, you go into a bathroom and you shut off the light and you say some like demon's name a couple times and it's supposed to appear behind you or anything like that? You ever heard any of those sorts of stories?
I mean, sure. The closest thing to that is like Beetlejuice.
When I was a kid, there was a lot of these kinds of stories. You like go into the bathroom at school, you turn out the light, you say some like creature's name or some urban legend's name, it would like appear behind you.
But in the mirror.
In the mirror. In the version that I heard, you had to like put a wet paper towel on the mirror and hold it there and say say Bloody Mary, or when I was a kid, it was something else. What I'd like to know in the comments is, internet, what stories like that did you grow up with? I'd love to hear them. Tell us.
Yeah, me too.
What's blood for, if not for shedding?
Okay.
But she said his name the last time. Candyman. What do you...
Damn it.
Whoa, what? No.
Disappear down a path to academic Bolivia. I think I've been there.
Wow. I hate this man.
They smashed the hives and stole the honeycomb and smeared it over his prone, naked body.
It'll be our secret.
No.
She's really digging in on this.
Unless you're too
Yeah.
himself. They found it.
I hear you looking for Candyman, bitch. Well, you found him.
A bad man took his name so he could scare us. But now that he's locked up, everything's gonna be okay.
That is not how that works. I love these aerial shots so
Yeah,
much.
they're so good.
Helen.
Yes?
Helen. Be my victim.
So much smoking in this movie.
So much smoking. Bees. I'm guessing bees.
Believe in me. Be my victim. What do the good know? Except
Where are we going?
We're going to Disneyland.
Oh, I like Disneyland.
Yeah.
Helen. You came to me.
Sure.
It was always you, Helen. It was always you.
It's aggressive fridge opening.
What's the matter, Trevor? Scared of something?
I don't think he's going to help you with the salad.
This is definitely a movie that like I'm going to be thinking about and unpacking for myself for some time. Like there was a lot there. And
Yeah, there
I'm
really
not-
was. And it tried to explore things horror doesn't generally get that deep into.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree.
It took some tropes like the tragedy that creates the monster and then the sort of supernatural urban legend style killer and the folklore around that sort of thing. I mean, at the end of the day, this is essentially a slasher in its like skeleton form, right?
Sure.
There's bad guy who is supernatural, who is killing people with a pointy object, right? Like,
Sure.
but I've never thought of it as such because it goes so much deeper into its characters and into its lore and into the just social fabric that, you know, makes up something as like polar opposites as the two apartment buildings and the neighborhoods that these two characters live in, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's really
I mean, what's
interesting.
interesting is that like the character development is enough to where I genuinely have like an emotional response and investment in the characters, minus the mansplaining academic and the like.
He was very much a caricature of, you know, himself. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. But also, like, for anybody who's spent any length of time in academia, like, we all kind of know that dude.
You and everybody else.
Well, and I think that, to be honest, if you've spent any time in academia, you know people who are like the main character, like Helen.
Sure.
Like, you know people who are those undergraduate or those graduate students who are writing that kind of thesis, and they're trying really hard not to be exploitative about it, and it ends up being exploitative anyway.
And she pays a price for it. She's not the typical white savior that comes out of this thing like completely scot-free and clean and like, ooh, I'm the hero. Like, you know, and the community at the end showed up for her, but they showed up for her in a really interesting way. They didn't drop flowers on her casket. They dropped the hook.
Which I'm going to sit with for a long time in terms of like, what is that actually about? Like, is it about like, now you're carrying the torch of this legend? This is our way of reuniting you?
Right. Is this our way of like passing this on?
Right. Like is this our
done with this legend?
Right.
Like,
right. Getting this curse out of our community. It's what
it felt like to me, even though I don't have a lot of evidence for that. It felt very cleansing, you know. And then they show at the end, which is also a very cliche horror thing to do, is to have like somebody show back up, the killer shows back up for one final kill or whatever. But like, it actually felt like it sort of meant something in this.
I thought this was a fascinating film. I'm going to watch this film again. I'm going to read about this film. I'm going to research what people have said about this film. And I'm really excited to see the next one.
The sequel, Farewell to the Flesh, or the like requel?
Both.
I don't know that Farewell to the Flesh is worth anybody's time, because I forgot that even existed. But
oh, well, okay. I can be refleshed. All right. So, famous question. What would you rate this film, Edward?
I really appreciate the unique take on the, you know, what are otherwise very cliche horror things, right? Like, I really like where it took a lot of these tropes or cliches. I think it added a lot of power to them in the story and subverted some expectations, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that they, you know, she barges in there with all this entitlement and she pays for it.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that or acting in that fashion. I like that the actions have consequences in this movie.
Yeah, including consequences for the people of color around her that are her close friends.
Yes,
and her colleagues.
Yeah, you get that so hard in that final scene where they're all coming into the cemetery. Like, this was a story that affected all of them and has for years. I liked how it was executed. I feel a little bit more clear on some of it after we've discussed it. I also want to read and do some researching. I haven't thought about this movie in a long time. I'm going to see the next one soon, and so I want to read up on it quite a bit. I think that I want to give this movie, I'm going to give it an 8.8.
Yeah. That's about where I was landing. I was like, this is somewhere between an 8.5 and a 9 for me.
It's almost to a 9. It gets a little muddled. It gets a little like lost in itself, but the production values are great. Tony Todd is amazing.
Yeah, everybody really commits.
Yeah.
Philip Glass's score is like beautiful.
Yeah, it's really great. I love the piano work. It was gorgeous. Yeah. Those drone shots that I'm assuming couldn't possibly be drone shots, because this was 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
I really feel
amazing.
Like this movie. Yeah, I really feel this movie was ahead of the curve in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I do too. Thanks everyone. Thanks for tagging along.
Yeah.
Watching us watch Candyman. If you like this, if you're enjoying what we're doing here, as always, you can support us by booping the subscribe button, giving us a like, hitting the notification bell, and if you really want to dig deeper, vote over. Patreon exclusive polls, help decide what we watch, steer the ship a little bit, participate in a really great community. You can head on over to our Patreon and check that out as well. Any support is welcome. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves, y'all. Much love. Bye.